page number 100, we were doing humanistic existential therapy. We have started with humanistic existential therapy yesterday, and we are still continuing it. The things which I just made you people understand, that do not try to go for rote learning, right? In this manner, you will not going to remember the things, because what is happening, children, in all kind of disorders, whether it is related to disorders or whether it is related to these therapies, the words are repeating. There is lot of confusion between the things. So I just made yesterday to note down the key points, the keywords, or the guidelines, on basis of what you can, elaborate the answer. Suppose, let's take the example of humanistic existential therapy, right? All of you know what is humanistic, Carl Rogers, Abraham Maslow, what is existential therapy, sabko pata hai what is it. But now whenever it comes upon writing a long answer on it, so what happened, you people, mainly it happens with students, they keep on repeating the things, they keep on writing the same words again and again. So how to get good marks? Try to be more precise by giving certain guidelines, by giving the answer into certain steps. Let us take the example of humanistic existential therapy. Now just look upon the topic in your book. First of all, just keep this in mind, that you have to start that what are the causes of psychological distress under this therapy. We are taking humanistic existential therapy, right? So whenever you're going to explain any therapy, what are the general causes of any psychological distress? Psychological distress, yeah, abnormality, yeah, any kind of psychological problem is there, you all agree, right? So when we talk about this therapy, what is the cause of psychological distress? Mainly the feelings of loneliness, alienation, and inability to find meaning and genuine fulfillment in life. These are certain terms which are related to this therapy or this model. Fine. So start with causes of psychological distress, right? Then come upon the second thing. What is the important term? Self-actualization, right? All understand what is the meaning of self-actualization. We have done quite many times, right? Now you have to explain this. First of all, just start with a very simple definition. What is self-actualization? That it is an innate or inborn force that moves the person to become more complex, balanced, and integrated. Now what happens generally, self-actualization को क्या करते हो तुम लोग अपने language में उसको समझाओगे, तो you are not using the specific and important terms. What is actually a self-actualization? Some people used to write just this much. Whenever we actualize ourselves, it is self-actualization. So you won't be able to get marks when you're going to write these kind of things. So what is self-actualization? It is an innate and inborn tendency, right? It is not learned. And the second thing, that it makes you become more complex, balanced, and integrated personality. What does it mean? Balanced means when all the things are in a balance. You are not having any kind of imbalance in your life. Complex means that you are taking things on certain higher level. Your standard has been raised. One side, when we start something or we initiate something, we start with simple things. But getting complex means gradually you are raising your standard. And third one is integrated. Integrated, just take it just take the meaning like this, that we are balancing the things, or we are just combining all the parts into a whole. As we have studied in Gestalt, integrated means to sum up the things, to see the things as a whole, to sum up all the parts and make it as a one thing, right? So integrated means this thing. This will be the simple definition of self-actualization. Now, what happens? The third thing will healing. Healing is a very important part in this therapy. What is it? Healing occurs when the client is able to perceive the obstacles to self-actualization in her or his life and is able to remove them. Healing means when you are getting the things on right track, when you are curing something, right? So healing will come when you are able to perceive that these are the obstacles, these are the problems, these are the hurdles which are coming in the way of my self-actualization, right? Another important term, you can underline these things: healing, underline; self-actualization, underline; causes of psychological distress, underline. Another thing, under the healing only, free emotional expression. Healing कब बेहतर होगी, कब अच्छा होना शुरू होगी healing? When in self actualization, what is the important thing, what is the primary thing? When you get it, when you get a free emotional expression, means that whenever you are able to express your feelings, your emotions freely. What does it mean? When you don't care about others, when you are very confident that you are correct, so you are able to express it freely at the same time. So emotional expression, to express your feelings, to express your mood, it is also very much required in actualizing yourself, right? And it also helps in healing or getting the things on right track again. The family and society curb emotional expression, as it is feared that a free expression of emotions can harm society by unleashing destructive forces. Now, what happens generally? This curbing means to suppress it, to suppress the emotional expressions of the people. What does it lead to? It leads to many problems related to self-actualization. It also doesn't let healing get in a proper manner. So what is the need? That to eradicate this curbing. This curb leads to destructive behavior and negative emotions. Now, if a person has been curbed, or a person's emotions and feelings has been curbed by the society as well as the family members, getting the things, two important socialization agents: family members and society. So these things, when suppresses the emotional expression, how the person will react or how the person will show it in indirect manner, it will shown in a kind of destructive and negative emotions. The person will become rebellious, he will become destructive, and he start maintaining a very negative outlook for the life. Fine. So this is all about healing and free emotional expression. Now next is the fundamental assumption of this therapy. What is the fundamental assumption? What does this theory assume? That the client has the freedom and responsibility to control his or her own behavior. As you must have noticed, those who have gone through this chapter, in behavior therapy and in psychodynamic therapy, the main stress or the main focus was on the therapist. Why? Because he is morally responsible for the treatment or for getting the things done into patient's life. Patient is not, the client is not playing an important role, but the therapist was playing a very important role in behavior and psychodynamic therapy. But what this humanistic and existential therapy assume, that this is the solely responsibility of the person to control his or her own behavior. This therapy is saying that a person has full freedom and he is equally responsible also for controlling his behavior. The therapist is merely a facilitator and guide. So therapist is playing a role of a guide merely, and a facilitator who is facilitating the things, who is making things clear for the client. So we talked about the fundamental assumption. Now come upon the chief aim of this therapy. What is it? It is to expand the client's awareness. Right? What is the chief aim of this therapy? To increase, to expand the client's awareness about himself, about the society, about the environment, Healing takes place by a process of understanding the unique personal experience of the client by himself. So when healing will be taking place in a better manner, when there is an understanding about the experiences by the client himself or herself. The client initiates the process of self-growth through which healing takes place. So all these terms are coming, they all are interconnected, interrelated: healing, self-growth, and awareness, right? So when you just take the keyword and then start with its explanation. I hope it is understood. Humanistic and existential therapy, fine. Now let us discuss the existential therapy all differently. What is it? Viktor Frankl, a psychiatrist and neurologist, propounded the logotherapy. The logotherapy is a kind of existential therapy given by whom? A psychiatrist and a neurologist, Viktor Frankl. Right? Now, what is the meaning of logotherapy? First of all, logos is a Greek word, right? It is a Greek word which means soul, and therapy means treatment. So what it makes a sense that the treatment of the soul. Logotherapy means the treatment of the soul. Now let us just continue with it. What is it all about? It calls this process, Frankl calls this process of finding meaning even in life-threatening circumstances as the process of meaning making. So what is the core word? What is the basic and important word you can make out? Meaning of the life. Whether it is related to the process of meaning making or it is related to finding meaning even in life-threatening situations or circumstances. Whenever we are encountering any kind of challenges or negative situations in our life, sometimes it is threatened to our life also. So what this therapy is saying, that try to find out the meaning inside it, that there is always a meaning, there is always a motto or a motive behind any kind of situation. We generally hear this term ki jo hota hai achhe ke liye hota hai, right? This is a popular saying and we also follow this thing. So whenever some things are happening, try to get the meaning. You can take it in a positive manner. Suppose some life-threatening situation happened to you, some experience happened to you. So how you will take it positively? That it is good for me, I learned a lesson, right? I got this experience and I will use it in my future, and I learned a very important lesson out of it. And many good things also happen sometimes afterwards. For that moment, we are not able to realize the things, but later on, we sometimes think, yes, acha hua jo hua tha, right? So this is what taking out or getting out meaning from life-threatening situation, and the process is known as meaning making. Now the basis of meaning making is a person's quest for finding the spiritual truth of one's existence, which is the another important term, spiritual truth of one's existence. This logotherapy mainly focus upon meaning making and spirituality. This word you are going to read many times. Spiritual anxiety, spirituality. तो basis क्या होता है meaning making का किसी भी चीज का? It is an innate tendency of a person, you know, to find the spiritual truth of one's existence. That why I am living on this planet, what is the target, what is the goal of my life, why, what is the, you know, true meaning of my existence. Am I doing something good for the society? Am I serving them in a good manner? Am I a worthful person, right? So all these questions related to what? Spiritual truth of one's existence. Now what else? Just as there is an unconscious, we all have studied about unconsciousness, which is a repository of instincts. You all understand what does it mean? Unconscious consists or comprises of all instincts, innate tendencies, right? The id, ego and superego, fine. So Unconscious, it is a repository of instincts. There is a spiritual unconscious, which is the storehouse of love, aesthetic awareness, and values of life. Just like unconscious, there is another thing which is specifically known as spiritual unconscious, right? It is more specific when we just talk about the spirituality and what all things come under spiritual unconscious. It is a storehouse of what? Love, aesthetic awareness. Aesthetic is a word related to beauty, beautiful. So beauty, whether it is related to physical beauty, whether it is related to the natural beauty, whether it is related to emotional beauty, anything. So aesthetic awareness, and obviously the values of life, right? The moral values, the sanskars, what we used to say, right? All these consist of what? Spirituality, spiritual unconscious. This is the another term. Fine. So we have talked about logotherapy, who has given it. Then we talked about it is a process of meaning making and to get the meaning out of life-threatening issues, right? After that, we talked about spiritual unconscious. And what is it all about? It is a storehouse of love, aesthetic awareness, and values of life. Now comes neurotic anxieties. And also we'll discuss along with it what is spiritual anxiety, right? Children, neurotic anxiety, I think you can take out some meaning out of it. We have talked about neurosis, neurotic features of a person. What is it all about? Whenever we talk about neurosis, it is always related to anxiety, right? Just to make it more simple, take an example. If you want to catch a flight, right? And we are going just 2 hours before the departure time. It is okay. It is a normal behavior for all of us. The 2 or 2.5 hours required depends upon the distance between your house and the airport, right? So for that you are planning, pre-planning and managing the things. But what about a neurotic person who is very much anxious before many hours and getting onto the airport, before 6 hours? Let's take an example. And it is not at all required. His house is also very much close to the airport, and for all the formalities, 2 hours they ask you to come before the departure time, right? But then also that person is very much anxious and reach airport before 6 hours from the departure time. So this is called neurotic behavior. When something becomes abnormal, when something is troubling you so much that your all activities have been hampered. That person even forgotten his all important things, his daily life activities, or he has even postponed his important things just to curb that anxiety कि अभी मेरे को पहुंचना है एयरपोर्ट, है ना? अब निकलना पड़ेगा, अब कैब बुक करा लेता हूँ, हो सकता है कैब ही नहीं मिले टाइम पे, तो मैं पहले ही करा लेता हूँ, फिर पहले आ जाएगी तो वो कैंसिल करानी पड़ेगी, राइट? Many things are there. The person is so much troubled with all these kind of neurotic thoughts that his daily life is affected to a great extent. So this is known as neurotic anxiety. Now, when we connect it to spiritual anxiety, so what will be the kind of anxiety will be there? We will have anxiety about the feeling of our own existence, about the meaning of our life, that we are not having any meaning, we are meaningless, we are directionless, we don't have anything productive to do, right? So all kind of negative and neurotic thought will be there. It is related to what? Spiritual anxiety, when you are having a meaninglessness, right? And it is also called existential anxiety. To be more specific, existential anxiety, what is it? Neurotic anxiety of spiritual origin. Fine. So these were the terms we're going to explain under logotherapy, which is a kind of existential therapy. Now, what else? The goal of logotherapy is to help the patients to find meaning and responsibility in their life, irrespective of their life circumstances. What does it mean? Two things they are saying. First of all, find the meaning, and second thing, start taking the responsibility. As we have just discussed in humanistic existential therapy, की chief aim क्या है, just to take, or what is the fundamental assumption of this therapy, कि start taking the responsibility. What happens generally, जब negative circumstances होते हैं, तो most of the people start blaming their destiny, their fate, right? It happens very general. So you all have observed this thing. So according to this therapy, they are saying that start taking the responsibility on yourself for all these negative circumstances in your life and try to find out a meaning out of them. The therapist emphasizes the unique nature of the patient's life and encourages them to find meaning in their life. Everybody has a different life. Everybody has a different meaning. Everybody has a unique life, which is different from others' life, right? So try to be more meaningful. Do not just start comparing. This is also a very general tendency कि हमारे पास तो ये चीज नहीं थी, ये फैसिलिटी नहीं थी, इसलिए हम ऐसा नहीं कर पाए. We used to give these excuses. So don't give these excuses. Every life is unique. Every life is different from others' life. So no comparison should be there. Fine. Now what is important? In logotherapy, the therapist is open and shares his or her feelings, values, and his own existence with the client. This is new thing. Therapist is himself sharing his own meaning or existence, values, feelings with whom? With the client, just to maintain a rapport, so that the client also understands that I'm not the only one who is suffering from these things, right? So what is the unique thing? What is a salient feature of logotherapy? That the therapist is open and share his feelings, values, and his own existence with the client. The emphasis is on here and now. Another important feature, it mainly stress upon the present. Here and now matlab that it is mainly focusing upon the present. Transference is actively discouraged. Transference, who all remember this word? Transference we have done in psychodynamic, right? Transference में क्या हो रहा था? The client is able to associate or relate with the therapist, and he is taking him or her as his role model, or any character which he has encountered in his childhood, in his past. So he is transferring all those feelings that used to be felt for that character in childhood now to whom? To the therapist. But in this existential therapy, transference is actively discouraged. No transference is there. The therapist reminds the client about the immediacy of the present. So overall, what we can say, that it mainly focuses on present, here and now condition, and no transference is there. The goal is to facilitate the client to find the meaning of her or his being. The same. So when we used to explain, when we're going to explain this therapy, again, logotherapy, who has given the two words from which the Greek words it is made, logos and therapy, right? Now, after that, the basis of meaning making process. Meaning making is the core word, fine. After that, you're going to explain the spiritual unconscious. Then the neurotic anxiety, the spiritual anxiety. After that, existential anxiety. And then you're going to explain what is the goal of logotherapy. Where, how does the therapist is different from other therapies? What role he plays under logotherapy. So we're going to explain that. And 2-3 more important things, that it mainly focuses upon present, and transference is actively discouraged. This is all about what? Existential therapy. Yes, ma'am, please stop the recording. Pushpa ma'am, please stop the recording.